Hello, my name's Elizabeth Baker. I'm a storyteller. My story today is about a tin. I wonder if you have a special tin or a box that you keep precious things in. Maybe it's under your bed or on top of your wardrobe. Well, today's story is about a really special tin. This one. It was made over 100 years ago, in 1914 to be exact. And it is a really special tin. So, make yourselves comfortable and let me tell you the story of Mary's tin. In 1914, Britain went to war and lots of young men volunteered to go and fight. And of course, when they all joined up, they thought that the war would be over by Christmas. So off they went in their shiny new uniforms, all expecting to be home and celebrating Christmas with their families. Of course, the war wasn't over by Christmas. In fact, there'd be another 3 Christmases after that before the First World War came to an end. And that first year, as the weeks went on and it became clear that all those young men weren't going to be coming home, well, the people at home started to think about them and think, well, how awful it would be for them being away from home fighting on Christmas Day. And one of the people thinking about them was a young woman called Mary. And she decided she was going to do something about that. She thought that she might put together a parcel that would go to every man in uniform fighting on Christmas Day to help them remember that people at home were thinking of them. So she went to speak to her father about it. Well, it's a good idea, said her father, but how will you make it happen? I've thought of that, she said. I'm going to put an advert in all the newspapers. I'm going to say what I want to do, and I'm going to ask people if they will send some money so that we can put the parcels together, whatever they can afford. Will people do that, Mary? Said her father. Do you know what? I think they will, said Mary. I think when people know that something is needed, that deep down people are good and they will always help. And Mary was right. Mary put her advert in the paper and soon money started flooding in. In fact, in the end, Mary raised over £160,000, which was a huge amount of money 100 years ago. The tins were made, and because it was Mary's idea, and she was a princess, not just any ordinary young woman, the father she spoke to, well, that was the king. They put Mary's image on the front and her initials and symbols from the empire. And then each tin was filled with things that would help the soldiers think of home. So some tins had tobacco in, some tins had notebooks with a pencil that fitted inside a bullet shell. All the tins had sweets in them. And the soldiers who came from the empire, from places like India, well, their tins had spices in them. Imagine what that must have smelt like when they opened those tins, all those gorgeous smells of the spices. Every tin had a card in it. The card said, "With best wishes for a victorious New Year, from the Princess Mary and friends at home." Mary raised so much money that they didn't just send tins to every man in uniform, they sent them to anybody who was out there. So the nurses got a tin too, and their ones, well, they had chocolate in them. That first Christmas in 1914, they sent out over 300,000 tins. Each one of them a special something from home, a small tin but filled with a huge amount of love. And the next 3 Christmases, anybody who it was their first Christmas, well, they got a tin as well. In fact, by the end of the First World War, Mary had sent out over 2.5 million tins. That's a lot of love going out to remind all those soldiers and nurses that people at home were thinking of them and missing them on Christmas Day. And because the tins were so special, well, they were kept and they were kept for years and years and years. In attics, in cupboards, all sorts of places. Some of them are shiny, like this one. Some of them are maybe a little bit more rusty and battered. But each one of them was sent to a young man or woman fighting or helping in some corner of a foreign field in the First World War. And each one of them was a symbol of love.